It's Thursday, November 5, and this is your Barbados Today Evening News Update. Barbados recorded its 36th murder for the year today. 31-year-old Shaquille Williams was fatally shot in his neighborhood at Porters Road, Queen Street, St. Peter. Police Public Relations Officer Acting Inspector Rodney Innes spoke to reporters at the scene.
What we've been told in relation to this matter is where an individual or individuals came to the area and a number of loud explosions were heard before that individual or individuals ran off. As I said, we're still trying to validate what we've heard. We're gathering our evidence. What we can say is one male was pronounced dead at the scene.
Inspector Innes expressed concern about the nature of the killing, and he assured Barbadians that the force will continue to use all of its resources to arrest the vexing problem of crime.
This matter was reported at 12:35 today, in the middle of the day. And if you look at the area, you'll see that you have heavily populated residents on both sides of this road, this narrow road. And it shows how bold criminal behavior has become. And like I'm sure my commissioner would want to say that we are taking a stance where we are going to stamp out this. We're not going to encourage it. We're going to fight. We're going to put everything we have out there. And of course, the police cannot do it by themselves. We need persons like you, the media, and we need residents to be able to come and help us solve these crimes. We cannot allow these things to continue.
The Barbados economy today got a strong vote of confidence from the international ratings agency Standards & Poor's, while acknowledging the crippling impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on the country's economic fortunes. S&P has maintained the island's credit rating as B- stable B. S&P explained the favorable rating was largely due to the success of the Barbados Economic Recovery and Transformation Program, which it says has allowed the country to weather the economic fallout. It noted that the economic recovery will be lower than forecast and GDP will decline significantly as tourism struggles to recover. It, however, said the progress and credibility the Mayor Motley administration has built up over the last 2 years under its IMF program will facilitate access to multilateral financing and support growth in foreign exchange reserves. In response, Prime Minister Mayor Motley says the country is buoyed by this vote of confidence, which comes as it faces its most difficult time since the Great Depression. In other news this Thursday, Barbados has a second Master of the High Court. She is Heather Clark, the former Registrar of Corporate Affairs and the Intellectual Property Office. Earlier today at Government House, Clark took the oath of office before Governor-General Dame Sandra Mason and Chief Justice Patterson Cheltenham. The Master of the High Court is mainly responsible for case management. Clark will serve as the intermediary between the registrar and judges and has the same jurisdiction as a High Court judge but cannot sit in open court. Clark signaled that she's ready to take up her new role.
I just see it as another step in my progression, and I will do my best as I've always done. I'll work. I've always worked hard and will continue to do so.
At the same time, 3 new justices of the peace were also appointed by the Governor-General. They are Everell Lewis Brown, Angelia Sharif, and Warren Motley. The new JPs briefly told the media they are happy to serve their country.
This involves all different levels, legally, etc. And I'm sure that we are up to the task to do what is right for our country. Thank you so much.
Sentiments echoed. I echo these sentiments, and it's indeed an honor and privilege to serve as a justice of peace for the island of Barbados and the people of Barbados.
Same here. It's an honor to be sworn in this morning and to be able to serve the people of Barbados.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To regional news now, who will govern St. Vincent and the Grenadines for the next 5 years? That's the big question as vote counting continues after a busy day of voting. The country's more than 98,000 voters cast their ballots for 32 candidates representing 3 political parties. There's the incumbent Unity Labour Party seeking an unprecedented 5th term in office. There is the main opposition New Democratic Party, while the SVG Green Party fielded 2 candidates, and there's an independent candidate in Osardo Bennett who is in a 3-way race in South Leeward. Further afield in the U.S., Democrat Joe Biden crept nearer to victory over Donald Trump on Thursday in an exceedingly close election that hinged on razor-thin margins in a handful of states, while the Republican president escalated his legal efforts to influence vote counting and made fresh, unsubstantiated claims of voting fraud.
Officials worked around the clock counting ballots in Philadelphia, in Detroit, in Kenosha, and while the extraordinarily close U.S. presidential election dragged on into its second day, the prospect that Joe Biden would seize enough electoral votes to win the White House looked more and more likely.
It's clear that we're winning enough states to reach 270 electoral votes needed to win the presidency.
The former vice president projected confidence at a speech Wednesday afternoon, but asked for patience.
I'm not here to declare that we've won, but I am here to report when the count is finished, we believe we will be the winners. Now, every vote must be counted. No one's going to take our democracy away from us. Not now, not ever.
Multiple news outlets called Michigan and Wisconsin for Biden, while the Trump campaign filed a lawsuit to stop ballot counting in the former and requested a recount in the latter. Trump tweeted a fire hose of misinformation and innuendo, implying votes were being illegally added or tampered with. In the early hours Wednesday, while millions of votes remained uncounted, Trump prematurely declared victory.
This is a fraud on the American public. This is an embarrassment to our country. We were getting ready to win this election. Frankly, we did win this election.
As of Wednesday afternoon, the president was clinging to leads in North Carolina and Georgia, though several of the large counties around Atlanta that lean Democratic have substantial numbers of ballots still to count. Of the battleground states, Pennsylvania has the furthest to go in counting votes, and Trump so far maintains a large lead there.
That's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media and bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM.